Kevin wanted it known that he could not be here this evening. So if you feel that it would be appropriate before making a motion, that you want to be able to talk to him in a council meeting, he's asked for, for this to be set aside and a decision to be made 2 weeks from now. That being said, I've laid out the issue, the amount of the loans that have been forwarded to Rushford Electrochemistry Company. They entered forbearance in November of 2013 for a one-year period. One of the conditions of forbearance is that the company agrees to supply quarterly financial statements to the EDA. Those reports are very important for the EDA to be able to read and monitor. They're also important because we know if they're being done, there's a good likelihood that the business owner is reading them. And they have a good sense of what's going on with the company as well. We have requested repeatedly to have these quarterly financials turned in. And what we did receive was completely inadequate, or we didn't receive any at all. As was stated, and has been stated several times, we've modified our loan procedures over the past several months in discussions amongst EDA members and with the city attorney. And we've determined that in the future, companies that fail to comply with the terms of the loan should be given notice of such deficiencies and given 30 days to cure. The notice of a right to cure the loan default was sent to our NECC, the compliance date of July 7th, 2014. The subcommittee and the full EDA discussed the status of loan prior to that July 7th date, basically saying that if it's cured on the 7th, it doesn't need to go to the council. If it's not, then it needs to go to the council. It was not cured. The financials were not delivered. Basically what we're looking for is an end of year 2013 financial statement, and then the first two quarters of 2014. None of those have been received. So staff is recommending that the council acknowledge a loan is in default. Also, my recommendation is to be considered for a period of time, number 2, that the business has more time to cure the default. We've gone back and forth about what the proper amount of time is. My recommendation is no later than August 28th. That gives over a month to get these financials done. To request it sooner than that, I don't think is possible. Later than that, I don't think is advisable. That gives us enough time to meet, to review the financials in a subcommittee meeting prior to the early September EDA meeting. And we've outlined, Joyce, I think, did an excellent summary timeline of the events with this loan. Subject to any other input from staff or from Tom.
So what was the indication he wanted to push it off until next week? Any indication of bringing financial statement?
No. He indicated to me that he is, and he showed me a calendar of meetings that he's going to be at over the next several days, and it just said that he couldn't be here. I would not expect that he would have his financials in 2 weeks' time. Certainly not have them at the end of this week. He's very busy. He's by himself. However, it does not excuse the fact that we've been asking for these financial documents all through 2013, certainly at the end of the year, and then for the first 2 quarters of this year, and have not received anything that is remotely what we're looking for, and which he agreed to provide. It's part of taking the money. He agreed to provide us those documents.
And just to refresh your memory, we asked, and we actually number of times, not just with this company, but with every company, sent examples of these spreadsheets with a cash flow statement, profit and loss statement, a balance sheet, and a debt schedule. These are fairly standard accounting tools.
We received a check register, which we then advised was inadequate.
And we have met with Kevin, and of course he's received letters, and you know, I think he's had a number of informal opportunities to meet with Steve and Joyce and Chris and myself.
And the subcommittee.
And
the subcommittee.
Again, this isn't something where we just decided 6 weeks ago to send him a default letter. That came after the EDA, and in particular the subcommittee that looks at all this information, which is quite confidential. We don't meet in an open meeting. We keep the quorum out of it and go through this stuff. The subcommittee, if I can speak for them and just summarize my colleagues' view, I believe they feel that the response has been totally inadequate, given the amount of money that was loaned, and frankly, the speed with which we put together an approval. This loan was predicated on the production of a device manufactured by this company, and when we received the loan at the end of 2012, the application, the justification for haste, if any haste was done, I don't think we were remiss, but we moved it along, was that these things are going to be rolling on the airline, going to their destination, and so the cash was needed to buy materials, hire staff, and so forth. So all of that said, you know, this is a kind of a strange default. I mean, it's not the company's still in forbearance, so the default is really on the terms of the contract for providing financial information.
Is he working with Hypersonic?
Advisory.
And it should be, you know, I just stated once, just for the record, so it's clear, this is not Rintech. And I don't believe it's affiliated other than principal is the president of Rintech and also president.
So who do we loan the money to? Was it Rintech?
No.
Rushford
This
National
company.
Electrochemical.
This LLC or S Corp, whatever it is.
It's an LLC.
As long as he called and made an indication that he'd be here at the next meeting, I say we table it until we find out from him. Before we go ahead, let's find out what he's got to say as a council. Table until the next meeting.
I don't think it's gonna change our actions.
It may not, but it'll give the man a reason to be here to try to explain. He might have found some money.
The question is, has he had the time?
It's not about finding money. I mean, he's still in forbearance, just that he's not agreeing to the terms of the loan. He needs to show us the good accounting that we've been asked for, and he has agreed to. And he hasn't done it.
Well, I still think you gotta give a person a chance to explain it to the council.
I agree with that statement, Roger. I think if these options as they're laid out seem very reasonable to me. It seems that